Hi everybody. When you put two Grammy nominated singers together, one that's won 5 Grammys plus being nominated twice, which is Camilo, whom I've featured on this channel a couple of times, and I'll attach my previous reaction to Camilo to this, and JP Saxe, whom welcome. I don't know this Canadian singer, but welcome to the channel, JP, because this is all about a little bit of bio, people getting to know you, and then warming to your music and what you have to offer. With hundreds of thousands of subscribers on your YouTube channel, you've already amassed quite a following. You are Jonathan Person Starkus Saxe. I'm wondering if it's Saxe or Saxe because it has an E. And just for the sake of this video, you can correct me. I will say Saxe. It sounds like sexy, Saxe. So he's known professionally as JP Saxe, a Canadian musician and singer. He's best known for his collaboration with his ex-girlfriend, American singer Julia Michaels, with the world. With that song, If the World Was Ending. That's what it was, which was way back in 2019. Now, the song was nominated for a 2021 Grammy, so he's Grammy nominated, this guy. And then when you go to Camilo, who has done numerous ventures with different people, he has 5 Latin Grammy Awards and 2 Grammy Award nominations so far. Can you imagine? And he debuted way back in 2007 on the Factor XS, it's known as, and he's also known for writing and producing hits for Becky G, Bad Bunny, and others. Wonderful collaboration. But what is the song about? Today's song, everybody, is about this. Moderation is this new collab that was released in February of 2023. Hard to believe we're already into February. Wow. On many digital platforms, and carrying a message of loving without moderation through a sweet and spiritual bilingual ballad, because Camilo's singing in Spanish and JP in the English. But for everybody, don't panic. As always, I've translated the lyrics into your language in full. All in English, all in Spanish, so on, so on. So Camilo says JP was one of my favorite artists on earth and my brothers. And doing this song together was a dream. And I'm grateful to be able to sing a song with a human being that I love and admire so much. It was a family collaboration with Val Una, who is the wife of Camilo, and also Ricky, the brother-in-law, directing it. So the video itself, in the synopsis, is that it's a difference between moderation and excess when loving. I'm looking forward to this because both of them, one intrigues me, one I adore already. JP, I'll be adoring you, I know, after this. I'm sure it's pretty special. When the whole family get involved, isn't it great? It makes you feel, wow, how cool. So, cool song, 2 cool people, Grammy nominated, both of them, and 1 winning 5. Let's get going with what they produced.
I've done 2 a.m. arguing with someone else's doubts, trying to unravel hesitations that aren't mine to figure out. Left that version of love at her door. Skepticism ain't sexy to me anymore. I've done ruining moments alone with my friends, cause I've been texting about problems that never seem to end. I don't wanna be questioned like before. Skepticism ain't sexy to me anymore. So, baby, don't, please don't, want me in moderation. You can't be halfway when I'm all the way in. Baby, don't, please don't, want me in moderation. You can't be halfway when I'm all the way in. All the way, all the way. You can't be halfway when I'm on.
Quiero que conmigo entregues lo que nunca has entregado, lo que guardas en baúles con cadenas y candados. Y aunque me perdí la movie que escribiste en tu pasado. El spoiler es que acabas siendo feliz a mi lado. Y dicen las enciclopedias que un amor no sirve de nada si se entrega a medias. Baby, no, porfa no me ames con moderación. Yo no sé, pero siento que no has dado el 100%. Baby, no, porfa no me ames con moderación. Yo no sé, pero siento que no has dado el 100%.
All the way.
100%.
You can't be halfway when I'm all I've done. Chasing after someone who was too afraid to try to love themselves and me at simultaneous times. Maybe the challenge is what I was looking for, but complicated ain't sexy to me anymore. So, baby, don't, please don't, won't in moderation. You can be halfway when I'm all the way.
Baby, no, porfa no, no me ames con moderación. Yo no sé, pero siento que no has dado el 100%.
All the way.
No me ames con moderación. Yo no sé, tú no has dado el 100%.
I'm taking a deep breath after that because it is two guys singing this particular song. Is it about them? Is it in reflection about two guys in a situation that have a love for each other? Or is it just two guys singing from the same perspective about love? We shall see. I have to say, fantastic collaboration. The music was pretty special and you two guys work really well together. I love the bit about the rose and holding up to it. I love the fact that you ate so much on set. I'm sure your wife was that thinking, we'll put this here, we'll put that there, we'll direct it in such a way, but to have so much food around. I'm a Taurus, so a person who was born in April, and Taurus, the star sign, is known for loving their food. And I loved the video. I could have eaten that video. I could have. I just think it's pretty special. So now we get into the lyrics themselves. I have the translation. It starts with JP. I've done 2 a.m. arguing with someone else's doubts, trying to unravel hesitations that aren't mine to figure out. Left that version of love at her door. So it is her. Two guys singing, I think, the same, they have the same way of thinking. And one is in Spanish, one is in English. So I'm already feeling the vibes. It's a girl in their lives, but they've both got similar perspectives on love. Let's continue. Skepticism ain't sexy to me anymore. I've done running moments alone with my friends, 'cause I've been texting about problems that never seem to end. I don't want to be a question like before. Skepticism ain't sexy to me anymore. So baby, don't, please don't want me in moderation. You can't be halfway when I'm all the way in. Baby, don't, please don't want me in moderation. You can't be halfway when I'm all the way in. All the way, says JP. So it starts with a strong statement. I've done my 2 a.m. arguing with someone else's doubts. So we all know when there's tensions, when you're in a relationship, when you've got that person in front of you and you're not sure what way the relationship is going, you're left, when the other person leaves the room, with paranoia in your head. You're left with doubts, you're left with fears, you're left with frustration. And when all of that happens in your mind, you can feel angry, depressed, and you become irrational and short-tempered. So straight away at 2 a.m. there's friction, there's rows, there's maybe they're in the same room, they're in the same bed, but there's no physical, it's distance even in the bedroom. And so you toss and you turn, and the person next to you who's making you feel like this is there, and you explode with your emotions, and it becomes a row situation. But the one thing JP says in verse 1 is, I've done ruining moments alone with my friends. That can imply many, many things, but to me, when we're with friends and we're upset about a relationship, what do we do with friends? We share those frustrations. And maybe your friends don't have the answers. And maybe your friends feel, oh, he's an adult, he's in this situation, we're out for a coffee or a drink or whatever with friends, and suddenly you're blah, 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 about the frustration, getting it out of you to your friends. And it's the one thing I say, friends are good in your life. They're good for entertaining, they're good for company. But when you bring your problems to them, a lot of friends don't want that because they have problems. So when they listen to you, they say, I'm sorry, they give a little bit of advice, they're very nice. But it can ruin friendships. People say, oh, he's always full of problems. As they say in Spanish, madre mia, por favor. So skepticism ain't sexy. And that one word stands out in verse 1. It's used twice. Isn't sexy to me anymore. And that's when you're wondering, why is it like this? Why has it become like this? Because of paranoia, you think they're with somebody else. For sure they're with somebody else. And you start pointing the accusatory finger at them in your mind. Because you're convinced with their actions something else is going on. Because it says, you can't have me halfway. When I'm all in all the way. In other words, when I love you, I've given you my heart. I want that back. I don't want you giving me little bits like crumbs and I go along. I'm not one of those people. I don't want the crumbs. I want the whole person. So it continues with Camilo singing in Spanish. I want you to deliver with me what you never have delivered, what you keep in trunks with chains and padlocks. And although I missed the movie, what did you write in your past? The spoiler is that you've ended up being happy by my side. And the encyclopedia say that a love is useless if it's delivered halfway. Baby, no, please no. Love me in moderation. I don't know, but I feel that you have not given me 100%. Baby, no, please no. Love me in moderation. I don't know, but I feel that you have not given me 100%. So Camilo comes into it, singing from his perspective. He's in a relationship and he's not getting 100%. I hate to disappoint a lot of people when it comes to relationships. And I find this in songs, in lyrics, and personally as a music interpreter, I just find when it comes to, if I'm to take out what Camilo's singing and put it to real life, there's a lot of imbalance, because in a relationship you can't give 100%. It's a myth, it's something, it's a fantasy, it's a children's book. Oh, I'm going to live happily ever after, and my life, and turn the next page, is going to be so beautiful, and we're never going to row. And no, there's something people need to learn. In a relationship, you sometimes have to step back and keep in a little box with padlocks on, as Camilo's singing about, a piece of your heart. I'm in a relationship 16 years. I love him to bits. He's from Spain. He's Spanish. Bilbao. But we think very differently. And the first thing I said to him when we started our relationship, I will never give you my full heart. There will always be a piece in a box with a padlock, you will never get that. Because I learned from past experiences, past relationships, never to give 100%. Because my heart got smashed to pieces in the previous relationships. And I've only ever had 3. So this current relationship is the 3rd. So it wasn't going to be 3rd time lucky for the other person to smash my heart. I have to keep a peace. And that peace, believe it or not, represents your sanity. Because by keeping a piece of your heart, you're able to breathe after the relationship, heal and move on, and give something to the next person. So when it talks about that, I just feel to survive any relationship, it's impossible to give 100% for that reason. So that's why I feel it's under padlocks. And it continues, all the way, 100%, both of them wanting different things. I want you in there, says JP, with your heart and everything. Camilla saying, I don't want moderate love, I want full love. So they're both wanting full love. That's my conclusion of this. No more moderation, full. You're either in 100% or you're out. I don't know any relationship that can give 100%, because you've got to save something, my experience, for yourself. But that's me. Anyway, it continues with JP saying, I've done chasing after somebody who's too afraid to try to love themselves and me at simultaneous times. I think that's a bit unfair and selfish in a way, because you can love somebody and yourself, and not everybody is a person who can project in a way to satisfy you 100%. In other words, you could be a reserved person. You could be a person who doesn't have, sense of humor. You could be more quiet. And because of those body actions, maybe you're giving the wrong signals to your partner, but you shouldn't be judged for that. And I always say, maybe to my friends who have a similar problem, maybe they're just quiet. They're just reserved. Accept that. You can't expect a person to be what you want, act the way you want, think the way you want, to make you feel this relationship's working. It doesn't work like that. Remember the old saying, 2 opposites attract. Simple. So it continues with Camilla saying, baby, no, please no, don't love me in moderation. I don't know, but I feel that you've not given 100%. If a person is with you, sleeping with you, living with you, sharing your lives, that's 100%. They're living with you. They're under the same roof. If you want the extra, like wringing a cloth out of a person, it's never going to happen. That's not reality. And people can't accept that, because the way you think is different the way I think. The way I think is different to the next person. We're all different. That's what makes the world beautiful. We're different, and love is different. Because people are different, their way of loving is different. And that's the accepting that we need to accept. Because JP says all the way, and Camille says, love me in moderation. So they're the lyrics, and I hope you've learned something today. Don't expect the unexpected in a relationship. If it's moderation, here's my thing to you. Isn't it better than nothing? Thank you for listening. Take care for now. Bye-bye.